The Runkandel family is a renowned sword family that dominates half of the world. Its members are born with strong physiques and exceptional talent, ruling over the world with overwhelming prowess. Combat, control, and legacy. These three things define everything about this family. Jin Runkandel, the youngest son of the Runkandel family, was born into this world of power and expectation. During the selection ceremony, where the future of a child is predicted, Jin made a bold choice. He selected the sword of the family head. His choice was met with approval. You've chosen as I've hoped. The sword was no ordinary weapon. It was the founder's sword, the symbol of Runkandel. Jin had once believed his future would be filled with success and fame, just like the rest of his family. But reality proved harsh. Despite his lineage, Jin possessed zero talent for swordsmanship. How can someone from the Runkandel family be that lousy at using a sword? He was mocked. He became known as Runkandel's embarrassment, Runkandel's disgrace, a dunce far below the family's standards. While he practiced tirelessly with a wooden sword, his brothers taunted him. Are you swinging that useless wooden sword again? Leave him be. I guess he won't wield a sword unless it's a special sword. One brother jeered, hinting at the legendary Barasada. Jin didn't pay them any attention. Then another said, Hey, why aren't you answering? Your almighty brothers are asking you a question, while kicking Jin in the stomach. Jin fell on the ground and looked for his wooden sword. He extended his hand to it, but his brother stepped on his hand and said, Why do you even bother swinging that thing? It's useless anyway. Then another brother found his basic swordsmanship theory notes and said, Do you think you'd get good at swords just by reading about some swordsmanship theory? His brothers saw him as unworthy, a failure who didn't know his place, they declared, tearing away his book as Jin pleaded, Stop! Give it back to me. But Jin's brothers were relentless. Because chances are given to you, you fail to know your place and keep holding on to hope. Jin spoke. You didn't need to do that. We're all doing this for your sake. Why do you keep talking back? Their cruelty knew no bounds. They even dragged his nanny Gilly into their taunts. Is that what your nanny taught you to do? Jin defended her fiercely. Gilly has got nothing to do with this. But his defiance only fueled their anger. Seeing as how you're still defying us, it looks like we need to teach you a good lesson on manners. Yet, Jin remained resolute. My brother's bullying, my pathetic, non-existent talent, I don't care about them at all. He clung to the belief that perseverance would eventually earn him recognition from his family and a rightful place among the Runkandels. But fate had other plans. At the age of 25, Jin faced the ultimate rejection. Jin Runkandel. From this moment on, you are banished from the family. The reason given was almost mocking in its backhanded acknowledgement. Since your efforts are commendable, we grant you exile instead of death. Cast out and stripped of his name, Jin wandered aimlessly, lost in a world that had no place for him. Yet, in his darkest hour, destiny intervened. It was around this time that Jin met someone who would change everything, a mysterious figure he simply called Master. And for the first time in his life, Jin discovered the truth. He did have talent. Not just any talent, but one that had been forbidden in the Runkandel family. Magic. 3 years after his exile, Jin began to unlock his hidden potential. His master taught him to connect the mana that exists in nature and the magician's mana to recover and strengthen his power. Then out of nowhere, darkness began swallowing him, and Jin found himself in a pitch-black place. Jin asked, Who are you? The entity replied, I am Saldaret, the master of all shadows. Then he said, Jin Runkandel, I'll propose a contract to you as the god of shadows. If you make a contract with me, not only will you be able to use shadow power, you will also be able to negate all curses. Oh my, oh contractor, it looks like you were hated by someone when you were young. It looks like your talent has been cut off because of a mere curse. Jin, in shock, asked, A curse? Saldaret replied, It's a curse known as the Bladed Illusion, which suppresses talent for swordsmanship. It's a terrible curse that can never exist in the Runkandel family. Then with a snap of his fingers, Saldaret broke the curse that had made Jin's life hell. And then he said, Maybe that's why I was drawn to you. With a solemn promise, Saldaret declared, From this moment forth, no curses will be able to bring harm upon you anymore. All that's left is for you to become an extraordinary magic swordsman. Then Saldaret addressed him by the name Jin thought he had lost. Jin Runkandel. And with a cryptic smile, Saldaret added, I will have fun observing you. Then the darkness vanished and Jin came back to his room. As soon as he processed what just happened, he picked up his sword, ran outside, and started to swing it. He began to experience breakthroughs he had never imagined. It was as Solderet had said. Every time he picked up his sword, he reached new heights effortlessly. It's like it doesn't weigh anything at all. It feels like I'm just swinging my arms. The boy once mocked as the worst dunce in the history of the Runkandel family was now discovering his true potential. A spark of determination ignited within him. Then an idea popped in Jin's head. If I just add on magic, then what will happen? Then he began casting magic. And then a moment of hard-won realization. Finally, my hard work has come. In a little distance from where Jin was training, a bunch of knights were spying on him. Jin's consciousness flickered in the darkness. Didn't I just hear something? He thought groggily. A creeping realization dawned on him. My body feels heavy for some reason. Panic set in as he called out weakly, "Is anyone there?" But only silence answered. The cruel truth struck him like a blade. I can't believe I died while sleeping. Despair washed over him as he questioned everything. Is this because I am useless after all? All his struggles, all his hard-won power, do I not even have the chance to use the magic and power of Solderet that I had finally obtained? If it was going to be like this. Then a voice pierced through the void, familiar and warm. Cheer up, young Master Jin. Jin's mind reeled. Gilly, why is she here? The presence of his childhood nanny made no sense. Fragmented thoughts swirled around him. The people of the family? What's happening right now? Suddenly, reality twisted. A flash of recognition, Barasada, the name of the legendary sword echoed in his mind. Then, clarity. It's the selection ceremony. Jin's consciousness surged with realization. I've returned to the past. Not as the exiled failure, not as the struggling outcast, but as the one-year-old baby, Jin Runkandel. The scene unfolded just as it had decades before. The family elders gasped as the infant made his choice. The youngest has chosen the family head's sword. But this time, Jin knew the truth. This was no mere rebirth. It was a second chance. The memories of his past life, his failures, and the power he had gained in exile all remained. The path ahead was clear. The boy once branded Runkandel's disgrace now held the knowledge of a lifetime and the will to rewrite destiny itself. With the ceremony concluded, the decree was issued, move the youngest to the Storm Castle. 6 years later, now 7 years old, Jin reflected on his circumstances. I have to stay here until I'm 10 years old, according to the family's rules. The peace was shattered when a maid discovered something horrifying in Jin's quarters. Young master, there's a dead bird in your... Jin's expression darkened. He knew immediately. The only ones who do this in Storm Castle are my brothers, Daytona and Haytona Runkandel, both 9 years old, the 11th and 12th sons of the family. True, we put that there for you to see, Daytona admitted shamelessly. How's our gift to you? Haytona taunted. Are you moved to tears? Jin's hands clenched. These weren't just childish pranks. Brats who just turned 9 killed an innocent bird just to torment me. Don't actually cry though, that'd be annoying, Daytona sneered. Hey, can you hear us? Does someone who's destined to become the patriarch think nothing of us? Where did you leave your Barasada? Daytona demanded. You're so quiet that I can't hear you. Jin's mind raced. I know they become notorious murderers once they become flag bearers. Haytona stepped closer. He grabbed Jin's shoulder and punched him, but Jin caught his fist and said, shut the hell up, while releasing a dark energy. Then he punched Haytona in the chin, followed by a strike to the stomach and another blow to the face. Jin spoke again. I bore it until now, but I can't take it anymore. From now on, you'd best stay out of my sight as much as possible. A knight rushed in, horrified by the scene before him. Young Master Jin, what in the world happened? Jin's reply was chillingly calm. They fought amongst themselves. When the knight hesitated, Jin's tone sharpened. Did you not hear me? I said they fought all of a sudden and collapsed. The knight, with a mix of shock and grim admiration, thought, as expected of Runkandel, even a child is fierce. The knight spoke. Understood. Then I will take them to a doctor. Jin stopped him. No, Khan? There's somewhere they need to go. Scene shifts outside of the castle. Jin had buried the bird, and in front of the grave, both twins were lying motionless. Young Master Jin, are you going to just leave them here? The rainstorm is going to get stronger soon. Jin's expression didn't waver. He replied, they need to be aware of what they've done. Khan bowed. By your order, young master. Then Jin left, and Khan thought, That force was definitely not aura, and it can't be mana either. If that's the case, then I must report this to the patriarch. Jin watched him go. I knew it. He's heading off to father. But Jin wasn't worried. He had anticipated this. The guard's reaction had confirmed something crucial. Since that must have looked like magic in Khan's eyes, I'm sure he wouldn't just leave it be. And magic was forbidden in the Runkandel family. Yet, Jin's power wasn't mere magic. It was something deeper. I found out that my contract with Soderet is wider in this life. The benefits had grown. One such boon was curse immunity, a perk of being Soderet's contractor. Thanks to it, Jin had avoided bladed illusion. The Jin Runkandel of my previous life no longer exists. From now on, many things will differ from my previous life. What's left now is meeting father. Scene shifts to a forest. Khan had reported everything he saw. The patriarch replied, "So, the youngest beat the Tona twins." A command echoed through the forest. "Assemble the flag bearers. I'll have to go see the youngest." A flag bearer spoke. "The 7 flag bearers of Runkandel and 200 knights have been assembled." The patriarch replied, "Good. Let's go to the storm castle." "A sudden order to gather, huh?" mused Mary, the 7th flag bearer, cracking her knuckles. "I was busy beating up some mages." Diffus, the 4th flag bearer, frowned. "The Tona twins will be out of the storm castle by next year, so I doubt it'd be about them." "Don't you think he's coming to see our youngest?" Mary asked. "Our youngest? Why?" Diffus replied. "He chose the Founder's Sword during the selection, remember?" Mary scoffed. "Ah, right, he did. But would that alone be enough reason for him to come back?" Luna, the 1st flag bearer, silenced them with a look. "There's no way we'll know what father is thinking. Father personally came back to see him." Jin, however, saw through the patriarch's motives. He probably just reported everything that he saw as it was. The implications were obvious. The youngest son who's using a power that isn't magic or aura, father's coming back to check what that power could be. This wasn't a familial visit. It was an inspection. To see if that power, or I, could be an asset for the future and prosperity of the clan. The gates of the storm castle opened. The patriarch's arrival was met with reverence. "We greet the patriarch." His first command was cold. "Bring the Tona twins." Haytona and Daytona, still nursing their wounds, were dragged forward. The patriarch's voice was like steel. "I heard you got into an altercation with Jin. What was your fault in that altercation?" The twins hesitated, then pointed fingers. "We have no fault. Jin was the one that hurt us." Daytona added, "With an unknown power too. It wasn't aura. It looked like magic. Magic is a forbidden art in our family." Daytona cried. "We should interrogate him before he hides his tracks." The patriarch cut them off. "My sons, etch this into your minds. You will not be able to survive within the Runkandels like this." Jin introduces his father, the patriarch Runkandel, the strongest, but at the same time the coldest person I've ever known. The greatest title in today's time. The peak of a demigod, Genesis Knight. While he once was no different from ordinary people, after he achieved the status of a Genesis Knight, he lost most of his human emotions and became an existence obsessed only with the clan and its development. To my father, someone with no talent in swordsmanship like me would be treated as a nobody, but this time, it's different. In this life, I'll make sure no one will be able to disregard me. Jin opened the door. All eyes were on him as he calmly walked past them and bowed in front of the patriarch, greeting him. The patriarch's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "Why did you call me patriarch and not father?" Jin's reply was measured, diplomatic. "My brothers, sisters, and the Guardian Knights, over 100 members of the clan, visited today. Because of that, I concluded your visit must be an official one, and that's why I chose to refer to you that way." That's a satisfying answer. Jin bowed slightly. "Thank you, patriarch." But the patriarch surprised him. "I visited the castle for a different reason today, so refer to me as father for now." Then came the question Jin had anticipated. "Then I'll ask you the same question I asked your brothers. What wrong did your brothers commit in your altercation?" Jin knew the weight behind those words. His father wasn't just asking about the fight. He was testing Jin's judgment, his loyalty, his worth. Jin replied, "If you are a member of the Runkandel family, you must always return what you are given, whether that be a favor or resentment." Mary seemed to agree with Jin's answer. The patriarch ordered everyone to leave the room except the youngest. Knights muttered among themselves, "Has the youngest passed the patriarch's test?" Mary thought to herself, a one-on-one talk with father. Little guy. Not bad, huh? The patriarch spoke. I sent everyone away because I had a few questions only for you. The real interrogation began. The Tona twins mentioned that you used a special power. The run candles strictly forbid the usage of magic because you aren't able to achieve the pinnacle of swordsmanship if you train in magic. What is the power that you were using? If it was magic, I will not allow this to pass lightly. Jin remained calm, but his mind raced. He couldn't reveal the truth, that his power stemmed from a forbidden contract with Saldaret. Yet outright denial would only provoke suspicion. Instead, he feigned uncertainty. I'm not sure about that either. I can't tell if this is either magic or aura, so I was wondering what to call it. If you don't mind, you can help me name it. The patriarch's expression remained unreadable. He replied, "This is the power of Runcandel's founder. That power, shadow energy. So does that mean this child is destined to be the head of this family?" Jin brought the patriarch back to reality. "Father, so what is that power?" The patriarch replied, "That is the power of Saldaret, the god of shadows. Saldaret made a contract with the founder of the Runcandel family, Lord Temar, and is the god that has been with us since. But the bond had faded with time. Since Lord Temar passed away, Saldaret has not appeared in Runcandel." The patriarch's voice grew pensive. "I don't know what the reason for that may be either, but it seems like he is trying to reach out to Runcandel through you." Jin seized the moment. "Then, father, I'm curious about one thing." His question was deliberate, testing the limits of his father's pride. "That person, the god Saldaret, is he stronger than you, father?" The patriarch's response was neither evasion nor arrogance. "Since I have never fought a god before, I don't know." Jin smiled. "You have never fought a god before, huh?" That is truly the best answer he could have given. The patriarch surprisingly approved. "That was a good question. Thanks to this innocent conversational topic, I think that coming to see you today was a good decision." Then, the patriarch turned the tables. "Let me ask you a question in return. That power, how do you want to use that shadow energy?" Jin's answer was immediate, rehearsed. "I want to use this power for the sake of the family." The patriarch's laughter was sharp, almost mocking. "For the family? You beat down your older brothers, threw them into the storm, and you say that you want to use that power for the family. As expected, he isn't going to let this go so easily." The patriarch's scrutiny would be relentless. But Jin had no intention of being caged. "This power is for myself," the patriarch replied. "Yes, I like that. I will keep a close eye on you from now on." As the patriarch's imposing figure retreated from Storm Castle, Jin let out a quiet breath. "Nice. I got through that safely." Not only had he avoided punishment for using shadow energy, getting the justification to use shadow energy however I wanted to is good enough. But to think that father now has expectations of me, this outcome was unprecedented. This is a result that I did not expect, completely different from my previous life. Before him stood his formidable sister, the seventh flag bearer, holding something in her hands as she extended the object toward him. Jin asked, "Sister Mary, what is this?" Sister Mary replied, "It's a special present from your older sister. Boil it well, chew it thoroughly, and get strong quickly." Jin opened the simmering box, which contained the phoenix's heart. Jin's eyes widened slightly. To give this to a 7-year-old child, Sister Mary is crazy. Mary Runcandel, a 6-star knight and the 7th flag bearer, also known as Windfury, she also had another name that wasn't well known, the Mad Woman of the Southern region. Sister Mary's motives were transparent. The reason why his battle-crazed sister gave him this is obvious. Hurry up and get strong so you can become my opponent. The phoenix's heart was no ordinary treasure. If consumed young, it granted fire resistance and accelerated growth, a priceless elixir for any warrior. But its value ran deeper. It's also needed for a 6-star mage to summon a phoenix safely. I might really be able to summon a phoenix with my own hands. Gilly, Jin's ever-loyal nanny, arrived with a warm smile. "Young master, did you wait long?" "Ah, thank you, Gilly. Young Lady Mary gave you such a great gift. Please eat it before it gets cold." But before Jin could lift the spoon, his older brothers, Daytona and Haytona, lingered nearby, their eyes glued to the pot. "Older brothers, if you have something to say, please say it quickly." "Ah, it's nothing. It looked like it was too much for you to eat." Haytona nodded frantically. "Yeah, I saw Gilly holding such a large pot just now, so do you want to eat it that badly?" Both twins nodded yes. Jin said, "Then listen to my request." Later, the twins skulked away, muttering in frustration. "Why do we have to do something like this? I know, right? There's nothing here. Why are we doing this? What would happen to us if someone finds out that we dug this out?" Daytona scoffed. What are you saying? Obviously, the youngest is going to get in trouble. Why would we? Haytona hesitated, then nodded. You're right, we just need to eat the soup. But a shiver ran down their spines as they admitted the truth. The youngest is a little scary. The scene shifts. The roof is trembling, and we see a man in a capsule. Jin sat calmly in his quarters as his brothers, Daytona and Haytona, shuffled in with poorly concealed greed. Welcome, brothers. You got here rather quickly, Haytona snapped. Shut up, we did as you asked, so hand over the soup. Jin gestured casually. I already put it on the table over there. Haytona's face lit up, only to darken again as he picked up the spoon. Hey, little bro, isn't this a teaspoon? I said I'd give you some, but I never specified how much. But I kept my promise, right? Well then, enjoy. Yeah, thanks a lot. The scene shifted. Watching from a distance, Jin nodded in satisfaction. I thought they'd do a half-assed job, but they actually did pretty well. His fingers traced the wall. With this thickness, 1-star magic should be enough. I've been frustrated because my mana kept building up without anywhere to use it. But now I finally have the perfect outlet. He began casting, the spell bursting through the wall in a controlled blast. Dust settled as Jin stepped into a place he had never reached in his past life. Runcandel's secret storage, sealed by ancient magic. He remembered how his elder brothers had once dismissed him, saying he didn't need to know about this place because he was unworthy of becoming a flag bearer. But now, standing before the entrance, Jin whispered the trigger phrase, Runcandel's child is here to console Murakan. The doors groaned open, revealing rows of forbidden tomes, the secret knowledge of families Runcandel destroyed over the last 1,000 years. Jin's eyes gleamed. So this is where they stored their stolen legacies. He stepped inside, scanning the endless shelves. One book caught his eye. The Kungin family. They were also a family of swordmasters. The text was filled with advanced theories. This is difficult material, even for 3-star magic. Temptation tugged at him. I'd like to take them with me, but the risk of getting caught is too great. A compromise formed. I'll copy them every time I come here. Then the air shifted. A presence. No way. No one from Stormcastle should be here at this time. The door creaked open and a deep voice rumbled. What are you? Jin's breath caught. Black Dragon? Murakan? Legends had said Murakan was defeated by the first flag bearer and put into an eternal slumber. Jin had never believed it, so the story was true. But this wasn't part of the past he remembered. Murakan never awakened in my previous life. He dropped to one knee, bowing his head. Runcandel's child greets the family's guardian. Murakan's roar shook the vault. You called me a guardian? How dare you reduce me to that title? The dragon's claws gouged the stone as fury radiated off him. Damn you, Runcandel. To think this is what they taught about me. I can't tear apart this little one, but it drives me mad. Jin's lips twitched. You're already tearing into me. Murakan paused, nostrils flaring as he sniffed the air. His gaze narrowed. Huh? What is this smell? Shadow energy. Jin stiffened. Shadow energy? Murakan growled. That's right. I may have slept for 1,000 years, but I'd never forget this scent. This is the power of Soderet. Only those bound by a contract could possess it, just like Temar. Realization clicked in Jin's mind. So the reason Murakan woke up was because of my shadow energy. Murakan leaned closer, eyes blazing. Do you know something? Do you know something? Jin seized the opening. My father told me that this power comes from Salderet, the god of shadows. The dragon froze, trembling. Are you serious? Don't joke with me, child. Then the truth dawned on him, shaking him to his core. The 1,000-year contract, the promised heir? It's you? This little brat? Murakan growled, half in disbelief, half in awe. Hey, kiddo, I made a promise with Salderet long ago, and it seems the one who must cooperate with me to fulfill that promise is you. I'll tell you the details later. For now, I just woke up, and you're too young to understand it all anyway. But I should at least introduce myself properly to Salderet's contractor. I am Murakan, Salderet's friend and representative, the last descendant of the first being born from shadows. His form rippled, scales glowing as he transformed into his full, colossal dragon body. The chamber quaked beneath his presence, and from this day forth, according to the 1,000-year contract, I will remain by your side. The dragon's eyes bore into Jin. Tell me your name, Salderet's contractor. Jin seized the moment, standing tall despite the crushing aura. I am Jin Runcandel, the 13th child of the Runcandel family, and its youngest.